How would you like to design a lifestyle that fits your needs? Is your current work or hobbies overpowering your free time to achieve what you desire? How can we fix our lifestyle so we can live a life that we desire? Let's find out. Hello, my name is Jonathan. I'm an executive chef turned coach and consultant.
And my name is Dr. J. I'm a real estate agent, investor, and musician.
And if you're looking to learn about how to live your best life,
and you want tips and tricks to organize a life worth living,
then smash that subscribe and notification button right now for weekly conversations related to living your best life.
We call it a Brodacious Life.
And today we're about to talk about lifestyle design. So if you're listening to this episode, you will know what lifestyle design is and the action steps you need to take to create a better life for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the idea of lifestyle design. So even if you don't make it to the end, here's everything in a nutshell. If you want your life to be great, design it to be great. And that's what we're talking about in this episode is lifestyle design. The idea that we can all have the life that we want. We just have to design it.
So to design that means obviously we're going to have some key points here, and we're going to go through those. So Dr. J, break down, what is our first thing? Like, what is a lifestyle design?
Yeah, so lifestyle design is the purpose of intentionally designing a life that aligns with your values and goals. The key word here is intentional. I love one of my favorite podcasts I listen to is the On Purpose Investor, and Eric and Tiffany. They talk about all the time on their show about living intentional, about having a life but doing things that you intend to do. And at its essence, that's what we're here to talk about today is lifestyle design, is designing a life where you make intentional choices. You're intentionally moving yourself towards happiness. You're intentionally moving yourself towards fulfillment. You're intentionally pursuing freedom and passion. And, you know, there's a lot of other lifestyle designers out there. Just to throw out a few that I think are really great. There's Tim Ferriss, Natalie Sisson, Chris Gioblo. And I just, you know, what are your thoughts on this? I mean, do you incorporate the components of lifestyle design into your life?
So this is a big project that we've been working on over the last year. I left a job that honestly paid me a lot more than what I make now. But it was all about designing this new lifestyle so I can actually enjoy life and do the projects that I want to do. I'm kind of tired of living by someone else's standard. I'm ready to be my own man, do my projects that I want to do. And the only way to get there is to design a lifestyle that is going to allow me to have that. And it's not an overnight success. It is something that takes, it is a process. So when we talk about this, understand that it is a process and it can take months, years to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it differs too. A lot of people think, well, lifestyle design is like budgeting. It's creating a process. But I want to challenge people too to see lifestyle design is about abundance. It's not about scarcity. It's about recognizing that the world is full of millions of opportunities, millions of good opportunities. But understanding that I'm a finite person, I can only choose so many good opportunities. They're only 24 hours a day. So it's really prioritizing my life. And it's choosing what my priorities are. Are they money? Are they status? Is it material possessions? I mean, it really comes down to determining what you feel is the value, what brings you happiness, what brings you fulfillment. And I think that is so important. And of course, Chef, we have a framework for this, don't we?
We do. We got our 5 F's, baby. So faith, family, freedom, finance, fun. Boom,
You're
boom,
in
boom.
the wrong order, Chef. You can't F in the wrong order, man. You got to put your F's in the right order, sir.
In order. That's right.
Yeah, and that's lifestyle design. That's what we're here pushing today because Chef and I've discovered, and it's so interesting, our story. You know, Chef lives on a farm. He's a consultant. I live in a city doing real estate. Our religious views are pretty close, but maybe the type of house that we worship in is just a slight different political spectrums and stuff like that. But what we've discovered is that Look, all of us want the same things in life. So when we're talking about lifestyle design, those of you listening, let me just give you a challenge to see if you can figure out what Chef and I figured out. Republican, Democrat, Christian, Jew, look, Hindu, Muslim, look, we all want the same things: faith, family, freedom, finance, and fun. And when you design a life, in other words, you create your life, you structure your life around those 5 things, I would argue that everything else gets put into perspective. So let's talk a little bit, Chef. Would you talk to us a little bit? Because step 2 is about identifying your values and your passions. Talk to me a little bit about how you identify your values and your passions, because that's how you design a life.
Exactly. So knowing your values and passions is pretty much essential to creating a fulfilling life, right? So values and principles and beliefs that guide you through decisions and actions, while passions are things that excite and energize you. So you need to identify your values and passions. You can ask yourself questions like, what makes me happy? What am I passionate about? What matters to me? You can also exercise things like journaling, meditation, talking to a friend to help you discover your values and passions. At the end of the day, you only get one life. You get one shot, so you've got that chance to really go in, and you've got to decide, what is it that I want? I've only got a set amount of years. I don't know what that timeline is going to be like. So every day I need to be living life to my fullest.
Yeah, that's right. You just reminded me of one of our favorite books by Mark Ronson called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Duck, except he doesn't say duck, but The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Duck. And here's the whole premise of the book. I've loved it. I've talked about it on the show. Yes. In life, there are only so many ducks, quack, quack, to give. Yep. So quit giving ducks to things in life that don't deserve a duck. Give a duck to the things that need the most ducks. And I think that's, you just mentioned identifying your values and passions. Action step for the listeners out there right now. If you've never sat down and really truthfully thought about what it is that you like, and really thought about what it is that you want with your life, someone once told me, you can never arrive at a destination you don't know where you're going. You can't arrive at a place you're not driving to. Some of you out there, if you're not designing your life, here's the truth: you wake up every day with no direction, and if you wake up with no direction, you never can arrive at any given place. And that would be sad to put all this energy into your life and then never arrive there because you never knew where you were going, right?
Correct. So to get there, we need to set goals and create some action plans that are going to get us from our destination, or from point A to point B. So how do we setting goals and create our action plans?
Look, setting goals is important for clear direction. And that's something else too that has to be mentioned. Part of lifestyle design, designing your life, is having a clear direction. Again, I keep talking about my friend Eric. They talk about it, and he offers a course, and I hope everyone takes it. If you go to the On Purpose Investor, called Dream Life University, I took his course. It was worth every dime I paid for it. Highly recommend it. And I won't take away his teaching, but in there, he discusses the idea that everybody has to know what their dream life is so that you know where you're going. It gives you direction. We've talked about on our show how to write a goal, and it has to be a SMART goal. I mean, they're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're relevant, and then they're time sensitive, SMART. And if you don't have a goal, all you have is a dream. I mean, let that sink. That everybody has dreams. We are going to go to bed tonight and we're going to sleep and dream things, but it's action that makes it a goal. It's that charting out that makes it a goal. The next thing too is that you got to put your life in manageable steps. A lot of people, want to accomplish this big thing, but they never break it down. I mean, Chef, how do you eat an elephant? I mean, one bite at a time, right?
Right.
Look, out of curiosity, I have some tools I use, but I'd love to hear from you. Do you have any tools that you use to create an action plan, or what are some things that you do, or some tools that you use to kind of understand your goals and chart towards them?
So I am currently working on a YouTube project that is called Southern Food Exposure. That's our new YouTube channel dedicated just to food. And part of that, I've created a vision board. And with that, it's things that I've collected, and it may sound silly, but things that I've collected up from Pinterest. I have a Pinterest board that I've been collecting on of different ideas, and I'm not going to be doing those exact recipes, but it gives me ideas. And I just have like a collection of all these different ideas that I've been working on. So some of it might be like I was looking at something that was a turkey. No, it was a roasted tomato and garlic sauced chicken. Well, I'm going to make a boneless chicken roulade using a whole chicken, deboning the chicken. I'm going to make a force meat or a sausage out of the dark meat, put it inside back in the breast meat and the skin, roll it up, and then sous vide it, and then roast it till it's crispy. I'm still
These
taking
are a
that
few of my
idea.
favorite things. That sounds so
I
good,
know,
Chef.
right? So it gives me ideas, and I'm constantly in this vision board. I also use Evernote. It's a note taking app, and then I keep everything in that Evernote as well. And outside of that, I keep a planner. I'm trying to work on my launching this channel in May, so I'm having to make sure that I'm planning out my content and the things that I'm working on. The next thing is just a habit tracker. I use our Brodacious journal. That's a big habit tracker for me.
Mhm.
It helps me create my action plans and my different things that I have going on. What about you, Dr. J?
I mean, pretty much the same stuff. I use the same process. I use Notability instead of Evernote. I don't think it's any better. It's just the one I first started using, so I'm still using it. But for me, look, finances when you're buying real estate, you're trying to crush down big expensive pieces of real estate. So a budgeting tool is really nice. I use every dollar. And a lot of stuff is very, very similar. I was challenged by a mentor to actually take out a Google Doc and write out 5 years from now, from the second I wake up to the moment I go to bed, what does that dream life look like? And so I did. It's like this really crazy document. I even threw pictures in it. And so, like, I look at that as what my dream, my goal is to get to. And then I have those broke down into steps of what I need to crush this year to get there. And a lot of people say, too, again, I'm designing that life that's worth living. That's a whole lot of work. I really just want to go through. But I know my life is going to be successful, Chef, because I've designed it to be successful. I've said this
Exactly.
before, man.
Exactly.
Things
You
don't
got no
happen to
shot
me.
until you without planning.
Exactly. Things don't happen to me. I happen to things. And unfortunately, listener out there too, your life is the same way. Your life will be lived. The only question is will you choose to take control and live your life, or will you let life live you? And I'm going to have control over my life. And let's talk this, because the segment 4, the next thing on here too, is overcoming obstacles and staying motivated. Now, Chef, if I would love for you to get started, because in your most recent blog, you talked about you've had a medical diagnosis, um, and some things going on, but I'm still hearing you today talking about your goals and your dreams, and you're pushing forward. And so, talk to us about how you're designing your life, especially as it relates to overcoming obstacles and helping us stay motivated.
So if you're interested in what all of that is, I encourage you to kind of hop over to YouTube and you can see the vlog there. I got a bad medical diagnosis, and at first glance, I mean, it was probably some of the worst things that you ever want to hear. And it really did set me back for a day or two. But at the end of the day, I cannot worry about those kinds of things. What's the pillar of our 5 F's is faith. So I know that in faith, God's going to take care of me. And the only thing that is controlling my time on this earth is him. It's not me. I could do some steps to make sure I'm helping him out, eat properly, work out, and do whatever. But at the same time, I could be hit by an asteroid. I could die in a car accident.
Mhm.
I could be in so many other things. And that could take my life long before this other diagnosis takes me. So I've moved on past the point of worrying. It's more now about, okay, God's got it. I'm going to do what I can to do what God's provided to take care of myself. But Jehovah Jireh, the Lord's going to provide. And everything that I do now is now with even more intensity. It's with more passion, because it really does feel life is very fragile, and you don't know when your time is going to be. And when you get a bad medical diagnosis, that's the reality that really sets in. It's the tough thing that you have to answer, because I'm going to say something that you probably don't want to hear right now. And I won't go down this topic train too long, but you probably need to hear it if you're designing your lifestyle. You're waiting to design your lifestyle. I'm going to tell you something. You're going to die. And
Mm.
that's a tough reality for many people to understand. But if you're wanting to live this life, this one shot you've got today. Today is the day that you can flip the switch and make changes in your life.
Yeah, I think that's huge. You know, I heard someone say one time that there was a grandmother who was getting ready to pass, and they said, "Grandma, I'm so sorry that you're getting ready to die." She says, "No, no, 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 no. You don't understand. Be thankful because I made a choice, and for all these years, I have lived." And I think
Yeah.
that's that thought came to my mind when you were sharing that, because that intentionality of, yes, we're not focused on, we're aware of the end, but what we're focused in on is on this wonderful opportunity that we have to live and be intentional. And while we're using the L words, live, I throw out legacy out there, because we can leave something, leave a legacy. I think that's my biggest reason for, for me wanting to push my business into real estate too, because I realize in just teaching music, I'm not going to leave anything physical to my kids. I've had a wonderful opportunity to partner with so many high school students that just through teaching that I have loved. And I know some of them listen to the show. I love those guys. But with real estate, part of the reason I'm in over there is because I get a chance to leave a physical asset to my kids. And maybe they want it, maybe they don't, but I get to leave it. And I love that, man. And something else I heard too, this last thing I'll say, and I know we got to move to the next point, but I like how you're adaptable. It's like what you said is the prime example of something has happened to you, but you're rising up and going, no, I've designed my life. I know my life is based around faith. Things don't happen to me. I happen to it. That C word isn't happening to me. I'm going to happen to it. So, man, I just love that grit. I love that grace, dude. I'm looking up to you. I'm cheering for you. Man, keep trucking.
We're gonna keep it happening. The big thing is don't worry about the fear, the self-doubt, society pressure. Everyone else has them, but only you can control it. Do not worry. Again, we talked about everybody going in their own lanes. You cannot worry about what's going on in the lanes around you and the people who are not even in the same race that you are. So stay true to who you are, your mindset, and seek support from others that are running the similar race, maybe in a different lane, but they're running a similar race. And stay motivated in finding your whys on why you're wanting to achieve your goals, and make sure you celebrate your small wins and holding yourself accountable for what's going on.
Yeah, I think that's huge too. You just said something that I really want to draw attention to, and it's the idea that we're all running a different race. For most people, I read a study about this, and people who live in the middle class to a lower socioeconomic status, one of the things that we are taught when we're growing up is a scarcity mindset. It's that idea that if somebody has more money than me, they're taking my money from me, because it's the idea that the world has a finite amount of money. And then we go a step further, that if that person over there is more successful than me, that means I don't have enough room to be successful because they're breathing all my success air. And here's what I've learned. I'm a new agent with eXp Realty. And one of the things that I love about my brokerage, and we're building a team out there. And if you're out there and you want to be a part of a team that's growing, shoot us an email. I'd love to talk with you about getting on my team. But one of my mentors in there, he said it this way. He said, finances and resources and success, it doesn't exist in a pie where if someone is eat half of the success pie, that means that I don't have a chance because that pie is gone. No. What the rich know, what the successful know, is that while everyone else is worried about getting a stupid slice of pie, they're out building bakeries. I'm going to say that again for the people that need to hear that. Some of you out there are so worried about somebody else's piece of their success pie, maybe it's bigger than yours, that what you've missed out on is that while you're missing for the pie, you could be building a success bakery. And that's what we're talking about with lifestyle design and being intentional. It's design your success bakery. Chef, I am speaking today in cooking terms. You've done this to me, man. It's like rolled off on me.
Rubbing off, baby. Rubbing off.
Oh, man.
So let's talk about taking action and making changes. So this is the tough part.
Massive action.
I'm going to do it. It's easy to say, oh, I'm going to be mentally tough. It's actually hard to put this into action, not just a week from now, but a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year from now. So Dr. J, walk me through taking actions and making changes.
Look, taking action is essential. People talk about analysis paralysis. I've got some family members that I'm really, really close to. I'm not saying any names, though. It's funny when anytime you and I say this on our podcast, like every family member assumes we're talking about them, and
Somebody gets butt hurt.
I know, and it's like I wasn't even
They
talking about
assume it's
you.
them. Yeah,
It
no.
is so crazy. But anyways, we've got people out there that all they do every time you talk to them on the phone is they tell you why they can't be successful. Here are my million reasons why it won't work. And I keep wanting to look at them and say, you see, you've missed the problem. You've identified a million reasons why your life can't be successful, but you haven't found just one passionate reason that it can be. And I will tell you, as for me, I'm betting on me. And that's the first thing that I will tell you is that if you want to make progress towards your goal, you got to bet on yourself. You know what, Chef? I am a worthy investment of my time, and you are a worthy investment of your time. And listener out there, you are worthy of believing in yourself. So that's the first thing I want to give you a challenge is understand that you are worth it. Yep, baby, you're worth it. Anyways, look, make small changes. Don't try to go out and change the world. Though, I mean, maybe you can, but if you feel like you can't do it, eat that elephant one singular bite at a time. Make small steps towards your big goal. Be intentional. We've said that word a lot today. Hopefully Google will pick it up, but be intentional. Look for unexpected opportunities. Look, I ended up a real estate agent because less than a year ago, I knew I was hungry to get to the next step of my investment career. I knew all these things. And then I saw a picture of my boy, Jeff Richmond, living in Puerto Rico in a condo. Dude's like accepting some award. I don't even know what it is. I find out later, I forget what they call it, but he's getting like some big award because he's just selling all this. I call him on the phone and I'm like, hey man, you're successful. I want to be successful. Talk to me about this success thing, because I realized he wasn't taking my success pie. That dude had figured out how to build a bakery. And it opened up this unexpected opportunity that has completely changed everything. So before I throw this back to you, because I'd love to get your thoughts on it, is I would just say that understanding that designing your best life, it's number one, it's a continual process, because you're going to grow, listener, you're going to change. And it's okay that your plan grows and changes with it. So as long as every day you take a step forward. So the question you have to ask yourself is what is it you want with your life? Are you willing to write it down? Are you willing to bet and believe in yourself? And when you see 1,000 reasons why you can't, do you have one that is so important that you have to get up? For me, it's my kids and my wife. I have to be successful because of them. So what are your thoughts on this?
So I think what's important to understand there is that when you talk about these guys who've made these big changes, and you mentioned your friend
Jeff.
I can't remember Richmond, but your friend Jeff, it did not come down to just an overnight success. He took intentional, deliberate actions. He put one foot in front of the other. It was more of baby steps than giant leaps when it came to his business. It's kind of like the 10X rule. Everything is just multiplying up to this moment of success. And you have to understand that when you're developing something, especially when you're older than 25, that is going to take a process. If you're in your 19, 20-year-old, like I've got a son who's 17, and I'm trying to speak these truths to him that you don't have to have necessarily a full college degree to be successful in life. You don't have to be all of these things. You have to understand how money works. And you need to have some education, but that doesn't mean you have to have a Harvard education to understand how money works. But you got to be intentional and deliberate in your actions. And the next thing is, I just encourage you to understand that it's going to grow, it's going to evolve, and that's perfectly okay. And that's because, what my vision was a year ago is not the same necessarily as it is today. I have a desire to be independent, and I'd like to be my own boss one day. I love content creation. I want to be independent from a set boss where someone is my overlord and they tell me how I'm going to spend my day, where I'm going to spend my day, what clients I'm going to go see. I want a life where I get to choose what I'm going to get to do. And that's been my goal now for the last year, is basically I hate to say take back my manhood a little bit, but kind of take back my manhood a little bit. I just really enjoyed, I got the opportunity to be an entrepreneur and be my own boss in my mid 20s, and I absolutely loved it. I felt like I thrived in it, and I've just had that hunger to be back there since.
Yeah, look, I think that's huge. And I know we're closing up here. And so if you're a listener, we made a promise to you that we would give you some key takeaways. So let's just, here are the 5 steps that you need to take right now when closing. 5 action steps. Because we've already said today that if you're not willing to take action, then you don't have a goal. You just have a dream. And you can go to bed tonight. But here, always remember, here's the downside about dreams. You'll always wake up and that dream is over. So the only way you change a dream into a goal is by taking massive lion-sized action. So here's the thing. Number 1, I want you to write down what your life would look like if you achieved it. What is your dream life? And go write it down. Number 2, break that down into meaningful, actionable steps. If you need some help with that, go listen to our episode on SMART goals. It's somewhere between episode 69 to like 75. But go listen to that episode because you need to take that and break it down into SMART goals. Because again, you don't just want a dream, you want something that actually happens. Number 3 is write down the attributes that you need to become in order to be the person you dream about. I want to point that out. That's not about success. If you as a person could achieve that, you'd already achieved it. So in order to get to your goal and to keep it, you, listener, me, you, chef, we have to change us. The Bible talks about that too, about how we're always working on us.
That goes in a lot of different directions. I really like that
Yeah.
line. And I had a pastor friend give me a similar line when I was single in my early 20s, and we defined what this woman that I wanted to find, what was she like, and what kind of person do you think that person is going to want to be with? And it's the same thing with your lifestyle. You got to decide, okay, this is what I want to be. What kind of person achieves that? And what kind of mentality, what kind of work ethic is that person going to have to achieve that? It's the same mentality that you've got to have with both. You can't just keep at what you're doing and expect it to get where you want to be. You're going to have to change and mold. And sometimes it kind of sucks. It's going to create some long days. You're going to have to sacrifice some things to make that goal happen.
Absolutely. But look, friction makes diamonds. You know, without friction, you're just a lump of coal. Friction makes diamonds. You know, number 4 is get an accountability partner. I mean, Chef is my accountability partner. Every once a week we record this. And the first thing we talk about before we ever click record is one of the two of us looks at the other one and says, "How you living? How you doing? Yeah. Did you accomplish that?" Y'all have heard me say on the show, "Chef, don't knock in that vlog." I'm like, "Chef, where was your vlog this week?"
I got my vlog done. Don't you worry.
Oh my
It's
goodness.
getting tonight. Don't you worry.
I love it. And you know, the 5th one is go do it. Make those bold moves. If you planned it and then you never put your plan to action, you have nothing. Go put it to action. And rhinoceros, lion, massive action. I mean, just go and go with all you got. Because like you said today, Chef, you only got one life worth living. So live it intentionally.
Amen. And that's what it's all about. If you can't have that mental understanding, we can't help you. I know very few people who are living the life that they actually dreamed of, that are happy every day showing up to work, that are just arriving to work every day with the same passion that I arrive to eat pizza or donuts. You know what I mean? You should have that same passion in what you do every single day. And you have to start making steps. The only way we're going to get there is just small bites at a time, working towards our goal. Again, I want to be a content creator. I want to live a life that is independent of the needs of others as far as a higher boss above me. I want to be my own boss again and enjoy doing what I love to do. I love to cook. I love to help people. I love to be with others who enjoy the same thing. That's why, the news channel is all about going out and talking with other restaurant owners and letting them cook for me, and it's going to be a blast, and I'm looking forward to it. So if you enjoyed the show today and you're working on your lifestyle design, please leave a comment down below. What does that dream life look like to you? I encourage you to write those steps down below. Put them in the comments. Put it on paper, what you're going to be doing and what you want to achieve. It's been a fantastic day, another fun, great topic, and it's the platform for what this podcast is about. It's about lifestyle design. Everything is about our 5 F's, and that's how we've designed our lifestyle, and I encourage you to do the same. We'll see you next time on A Brodacious Life. Again, if you haven't had a chance yet, hit that like, hit that subscribe. If you're on the YouTube, there's some videos up above me. You should click on those. And those are videos that are recommended to you by the wonderful YouTube algorithm. And we'd love for you to click on one of those and see the next episode. Have a great time. You be blessed this week. And we'll see you next time on A Brodacious Life.